Hi everyone, it's Jen and I am here with the Artistic Studio Creation Design Team project. That's ASC Supplies on Etsy or asccraftsupplies.com. And today we're doing one of these slimline waterfall cards. And this is a photo play, like pre-designed card. So let's get into it. So this takes the cutting and the guessing out of it. We have these small squares. The card base itself. This is going to be where the squares adhere, and this one looks like it's going to be interactive, and I'm not sure what this one's going to be, but we'll figure it out. My original idea was to use the leftovers of my Graphic 45 Make a Splash collection, but I don't have any scraps long enough, so that's fine. We're going to use the Graphic 45 Eerie Tales collection. Now, this is a retired collection, but it is Halloween, and Graphic 45 sadly is not doing a Halloween collection this year, so we're just gonna go with these old scraps. So I separated the kit out to 3 cards, because you get 3 full cards in this one, and the base piece is just a fold in half, and it is pre-scored for you, and I'm just going to reinforce that with my bone folder. So there's that. And this piece I found out was actually the piece that holds the mechanism, the interactive mechanism on. So they wanted you to cut this down to 1-inch strips, but this way. But I'm not going to do that because much like their sample, I'm going to use a piece of colored cardstock for that. So we're just making a couple changes, which is completely okay. And let's get started on the actual card. So first, we're going to take and mat the card with a piece of colored or pattern paper. And this one I cut to 8 3/8 by 3 3/8. And I do love this collection. Figure out which way it looks best. I think this way. I don't have a whole lot of the Eerie Tales collection left, but I probably have enough to do a small album. So maybe I will do that for Halloween. I have another album to make, so if you're interested in that, you can subscribe for a future 8 by 8 mini album. Okay, so we're just going to put this right in the middle. There. And then they say to put this piece on. Now this piece can go all the way out to the sides, but I just wanted it to go to the sides of the pattern paper. So I cut this 1 by 3 3/8. But first, let's get this piece ready, because this piece, which is pre-scored, you can't really see it. There's 1 score. And then we're going to fold it again. There's 2. It must be scoring against the grain. It's not lining up for me. There we go. And I am. I'm folding it the wrong way. That's okay. 3. And 1 more fold. 4. Okay, so it says now that this piece will go under this piece. So Just the idea behind it is when you pull this piece down, this piece stops it, and each one flips up. So you can see the thought behind that. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough room to adhere these two pieces, but much like their sample card on front, I thought it would be cool to have like a background, but I want it to be a solid background. So I am going to glue this piece down first, and I want it further down, I think, than I want it centered. Make sure that you leave yourself room for the bottom of this sticks out just a little bit. All right, now on this piece of cardstock, I'm going to use some score tape because it has some pressure on it. And if I use 2 pieces of 1/4 inch score tape or 1 piece of 3/8 score tape or 1/2 inch score tape, we should still have room to put the interactive mechanism. So on mine is going to go from side to side of the pattern paper. You can make it go all the way across. If you use the one from the kit, it's going to go all the way across. Okay, and then this should just slide right in there, which it does. So we're good there. Now it says you slide this in, you fold these over, which we already did, and then you put adhesive across these. I'm going to go ahead and use my score tape. Okay, and then one more at the bottom here. Okay, so you have score tape on each one of the folds and then one at the very bottom. And then our 2-inch squares, I cut some pattern paper out, 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, so we're going to glue all those on. And there should be 5. Okay, now we have to glue or adhere this part to here. So instead of putting adhesive on here like it says on the instructions, because I'll never get it right, I'm going to put it here. And I know I have 1 inch, so if it helps you, you can mark off 1 inch because that's how far your adhesive can go. And you don't need to cover the entire inch. I'll probably just use 3 pieces of score tape, or 2 since I put that on crooked. And take that tape off. And this goes even with the bottom of this line here, or this piece. And you want it even in your, if you add a piece of decorative strip there, you want that even in there too, so it doesn't look odd. Okay, there we go. Now one by one we start putting on our decorative squares, and while we're here, this is the mechanism. So it's working well. And then our little papers. Let's do the spider first. They just line up perfectly right underneath that score line. The last one goes right here, but I don't think I'm going to put that there. I think I want to put a longer strip, so I'm just going to cover this entire thing. So let's cut another piece. We're going to go, we'll make it 4.5 by 1 7/8. The only reason I'm not putting this on there is because I think it may interfere with that because of the bulkiness, and I'm sure that it would be fine, but I like doing things just a little bit different. There we go. Okay, now what that gives it a little bit of extra strength, and it also works here, so we're good. As long as you don't pull it all the way out, it works great. Okay, and I think the small 2-inch one would have some issues there too. So now I'm just going to use some old foam tape here for, I have these 2 little bats. You don't want to put anything above this line here, but we can like go off one side or another. To give it a little extra. And then on the inside of the card, I have some more pattern paper, again 8 3/8 by 3 3/8. The same parchment type cardstock. This is 8 by 3. Because I want to see some of that pattern paper. And then from the same die cuts that I made, oh my, probably 6 or better years ago on my Cameo when I did my Airy Tales project, and I just kept everything together. I'll link that project. It was a pretty neat one, and a huge mini album, by the way. And this spider web was from the same time. There's lots of room there to write still because slimline cards are huge. And then I have a sticker sheet. And how about Be Scary? Okay. And there you go. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Head on over to ASC Supplies on Etsy or asccraftsupplies.com and use Scrapping Posh 10 for 10% off your normal purchase. See you next time. Bye.